Today I'm going to show you how to make a bow-edged fleece blanket. These are no-sew, but they do require a few extra tools that typical fleece blankets may not. Okay, so you're going to need a crochet hook. You'll just need something small. It doesn't matter the size exactly, but just something a little smaller like this. And we're not crocheting, but we're just using it to help us out. And we'll also need a seam ripper, so just make sure you have one of those. You could use scissors, small like little embroidery scissors would work. Something big and chunky like this might be a little hard to get the little small holes that we need, so keep that in mind. You'll also need either some yarn, or you can create your own little strips with the fleece. So I like how it looks with these strips of fleece, so I'll show you how to do that. But if you don't want to go to that hassle, you can totally just use some yarn. To make the strips, you're going to want to determine which way of your fabric stretches. So this way, you can see it stretches a lot. If I pull it this way, the stretch is not near so much. So you want to make your strips the same direction that the stretch is going. So when I did mine here, I cut off a strip off the edge that's about 4 inches wide. So then I'm just cutting off a 4-inch piece. And the reason why I'm doing this is, remember, we want our cuts to be on the stretchy side, but this side isn't stretchy, so we need to flip it so that it's stretchy to cut our strips. A 4-inch strip is just about the right length, so that's why I do 4 inches. And then I just go every ½ inch or so and just make strips. So it's really easy to do. You can do it the other direction, like if it's not stretchy, but let me just show you the difference here. I have 2 pieces from a different scrap. One of them is not stretchy. The other one is stretchy. And you can see how it lengthens out. This one is really quite thin. That's why I do ½ inch. This one's like a 1/4 inch. It makes it super thin. But it makes it so that these pieces stretch a little bit. You get more out of your fabric because they're stretching, and then we can tie the bows with them. So after you've got your pieces cut, we'll line up our fabric here. So we have just our fleece. What I have it folded in half. The folded edge is up here at the top. And this is so that I only have to make half as many cuts because I'm doing 2 layers at a time. So once I finish this side, then I would refold it so that the 2 edges on this side are lined up, and then I would do those sides. But to begin with, we will just line up our fabrics here. I'm just going to make sure they're even, and I've just got this ruler here. You don't have to have a ruler, but it just has easy markings. I'm cutting out 2 inches out of the corner. So you can do that measure with scissors and a tape measure, however, but you just want to cut out a 2-inch square out of the corner, just like that. The next thing we'll do is we'll just grab a piece of masking tape, and I'm just going to mark the 2-inch marking. So I'm just going to line it up on this edge where we've cut, because we know that's 2 inches from the edge. And then I'll measure or just eyeball the other end. And I would just do this down the whole length of my blanket. Just for the sake of the video, we'll just do however much you can see in the camera. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this edge right here is lined up with one of the markings on the mat. This just makes it easier. If you don't have a mat and you're using scissors, then you'll just measure over 2 inches. You could mark on the tape every 2 inches. That might be a super easy way to do it if you don't have a cutting mat, is you would just take this and you just make a little mark every 2 inches. Then you'd know where that you were supposed to cut if you were using scissors. So you just do it like that. Just cut right up to the tape. If you cut into the tape a little bit, you're fine. If you don't make it quite to the tape, you're fine, but this just gives you a good guideline on where to cut to. And you will just do this through both layers of your fleece all the way down. All right, so the next thing we'll do, we'll just remove that tape, and we're going to be working in a single layer now. So I am just going to get rid of that bottom layer because the way it's facing is the back side. This is the top side. So, okay, so I'll just grab my seam ripper, and I'm just taking this little strip, and I'm just going to eyeball right in the center along the top where the top of my flange is. I'm just going to stick it right in the middle. This one's easy because it actually lines up right there in the middle, and I cut that hole much bigger than I intended to. But you're just going to do that, and you'll just cut a little hole. What you could do is you could just stick the end of it just through. You can see. Then you won't accidentally cut the hole too big. You'll just have a small little hole. All right, so now we'll make our little bows. We'll insert the crochet hook from the back side. We'll grab one of our strips. We'll just stretch it out. And then we'll take our crochet hook and we will pull one end through the hole. So we have one end poking out the back. We have one end in the front. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're just going to make like a little accordion type shape fold in the fabric. So we're just going to go up and down. So up and down, and this will create our little bow. The next thing we'll do is we'll just make a knot with both ends, just like you're tying your shoe. You'll just make a knot. And you'll just tie that really tight. You can kind of arrange the pieces so that the bow lays flat and nice. The next thing we're going to do with this top piece, we're going to insert our crochet hook in the back again. We're going to grab that piece and pull it to the back. Okay. Then we're going to flip our fabric over, and we're going to tie a square knot on the back. So we'll just do right over left, tie, left over right, and pull it tight. And then we have our little bow with the little tails. Super cute. So you'll just complete that process all the way down. It is a little time consuming, but I just feel like it's so adorable that you just got to make at least one like this. Cute little baby blanket, or for this one's going to be for my daughter. She loves dogs and she's a girly girl, so she'll love the bows. So I'm having a hard time finding the hole in that one, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe I just wasn't in the right spot. There we go. So we'll just do this again. You can watch one more time. So I insert the needle from the back side, pull that piece of fleece through. So you have one on the back, one on the front. Then you'll just do your accordion fold, so you'll fold it up. You have, I don't know, ½ an inch or so that you leave from where the top of the cut is to the first fold, that fold, and then you just fold it back down. So then there's a fold on the top. It feels like my fingers are really big and you can't see what I'm doing, but hopefully you can. You'll just tie it like you're tying your shoe. Insert your crochet hook on the back side again and pull that fleece through the back. And then we'll flip it to the back side and we'll tie our square knot. So I just always think right over left, pull it tight, left over right, pull it tight, and then you have your cute little bow. So you just complete that all the way down all sides of your blanket, and then you'll just have a cute little bow edge along the edge. Okay, so I just thought I'd show you my little practice piece here, kind of my process in how I practiced and figured things out. So this first one I used yarn, and I just trimmed the tails off And it's kind of a cute little bow. So if you don't like the tails, and you can do that if you'd like. The second one right here, I did the same thing, but I used yarn and I left the little tails, and that I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. And so that kind of got me on the train of thinking of having little tails. This next one right here, I did a little bit longer just to see the length, and I decided I like the shorter length better. So then this one is when I decided to start using the tails, and I just was using a piece of scrap and it wasn't quite long enough, but I'm like, oh, that's cute. So I want to keep trying with that. This one right here, I cut a strip and then I cut it the opposite way. And this is how I learned or realized that it would stretch. I don't particularly like how long and stretchy these are. So this is why I go with the 1/2 inch instead of 1/4 inch like this one is. This one is not along the stretch, and so it didn't stretch, but that's how thick this one was before I stretched it out. So if you go with a 1/2 inch piece, that's kind of the end result with the 1/2 inch little bow. So this one's the end result, kind of how I determined the size, the kind of ties to use for the bow. So that's kind of my process. I was planning to just use yarn because that's simple and easy, but then I just think it looks so cute with this just a little bit thicker of the tails. So anyway, that was kind of my process on how I figured out how to make this. And so there you go.